Hey everybody, this is GGB. Today we're going to be talking about the championship games. Let's get into the first one. Conference USA Championship, guys. We got Western Kentucky actually traveling to UTSA. I didn't know this, but apparently smaller conferences actually don't have a designated field for their conference championship. I didn't know that because I'm used to watching the Big Ten Championship, Big 12, SEC, Big Pac-12. I normally don't watch, I've watched smaller championship games, but I didn't pay really attention to it, that it was a home field stadium. UTSA actually gets this at home, which is really odd to me because they're on different sides. I don't get it. I don't get home field advantage for these things. I understand you don't have a designated field for this, but maybe if you could find one in your conference that's in the middle or far away from both of them, you could put it there. I don't know. I don't get it. But I like to point out how big of a run Western Kentucky has gone on since I've really talked about them. Last time I talked about them was the Western Kentucky UTSA game in the regular season. That was the last game they've lost. They are on a 7-game win streak, and they haven't lost since the beginning of October. They are in an insanely long win streak right now. They haven't lost, again, since they played UTSA on about October the 9th, I think, was the date of that matchup, and it was a really good matchup. I remember saying back then, Western Kentucky is a way better team than their record indicates, simply because of how good I thought they really were. They went on a 7-game win streak. They started the season 1-4, right? And they ended the season 8-4, and there's a reason why. It's because they started out 1-4 because they played really good football teams. You look at the teams they lost to, they ended up losing close to Army, losing to Michigan State, losing close to UTSA. These are teams that are very solid, and it was, then looking back, maybe Army was not a great loss, but literally almost all their other losses were okay, that's reasonable, that's a Power 5 opponent, or that's UTSA, who was ranked at this point this year. Western Kentucky has been really good this year. They won. I'd like to point out Western Kentucky has won the Conference USA Championship before. They won it in 15 and 16, and this would be Western Kentucky would be the first team to win 3. I don't remember. I haven't been keeping track of who's staying and who's going from Conference USA, but this Conference USA is going to look at a lot different in the next couple of years, so it's going to be interesting for sure. But let's go over what happened last game against Marshall. Bailey Zapp went 25-48, threw for 328 yards, 4 touchdowns, 0 interceptions. Noah Whittington had 14 carries for 69 yards on the ground. Nice. And Dawood Davis had 3 catches for 105 yards and 2 touchdowns. UTSA, on the other hand, has never been to a conference championship. It's really interesting. This would be UTSA's first chance to win one. Eddie von Marburger went 2 of 4 for 74 yards and a touchdown last week. If you didn't know, UTSA was undefeated, 11-game win streak right into that game, and unfortunately lost pretty badly to North Texas. Obviously, it was a game North Texas kind of had to have to get the bowl eligibility, so obviously they were going to play their heads were on fire, but I did not expect just an absolute drubbing by North Texas. Frank Harris, their starting quarterback, who honestly did not have a good day for the air, but had a pretty solid day on the ground, had 10 carries for 97 yards and a touchdown. And Trevion O'Reilly had 1 catch for 67 yards and a touchdown. So, Western Kentucky, again, playing UTSA, traveling to UTSA. They're 1-1. This series has been 1-1. The last game did go to UTSA. And again, the last game went to UTSA, but do you know why? When it went to UTSA? This year. And you know what that final score was? It was 52-46. That's how high-scoring of a game that was, and I'm so excited for this one. Again, these are, in my opinion, the 2 best teams in Conference USA this year. Sometimes you end up with 2 of the better teams on the one side. I think you could make an argument that UAB is one of those better teams for the Conference USA. But again, Western Kentucky is so fun to watch on offense. Bailey Zapp is a legitimate draft pick. I think he's going to be selected by an NFL team this year. He is so much fun to watch. Not to mention, but on the other side of things, Frank Harris and Sincere McCormick are so fun to watch for UTSA. This game's gonna be a lot of fun, guys. But I'm gonna go with UTSA here. But I like Western Kentucky. I like him a lot, and I think this is gonna be a really great shootout.